Alright. I think everything's working now correctly. Welcome, Dr. Snepper and Wiss. Dr. Snepper made Elite Status and Elite Dangerous. There you go. Now you're hunting pirates. Sounds like a noble effort. Okay, we're still grinding. I forgot what Pokemon I have out. How many badges do I have, Dr. Snepper? You're funny. I have none. So the purpose of this challenge is I have to get every single Pokemon that is obtainable prior to each gym leader. And I have to have not just the Pokedex filled up, but I have to have a physical version of them. So we grinding. On level 3s and 4s and 5s. I haven't even got to see Brock yet. Well, I saw him. I defeated his trainer to get Cashola. We used a glitch called Brocking Through Walls to get more trainer availability to earn Cashola to buy Pokeballs so I could catch the Pokemon I needed. I'll need to get a Charizard, a Bulbasaur, Venusaur, and a Blastoise for the Living Dex. And then I have to go round 2 and evolve them to an Ivysaur, Wartortle, and Charmeleon again. I have to evolve a Rattata to a Raticate, a Pidgey to a Pidgeotto, and a Pidgeotto to a Pidgeot. I have a lot of grinding to do. I think I might be able to... Yeah, 9 Pokemon in total just for the starters. And then I have the Nidorans to do. At least I have to get them all to Nidorino and Nidorina. So yeah, I probably have another 2 more streams after this one of just straight grinding before I can get to Brock. And then we have a little bit of a reprieve through Mount Moon. Misty will be a little bit of a challenge. But after Misty, I basically just have to finish the Pokedex. That is true, Haywire Gamer, and welcome. It's a little bit different than the standard Professor Oak challenge because of the Living Dex portion of it. And we allowed glitches and we allowed version exclusives to be traded. So, hey, Dr. Stepper, you have a great night. Whis managed to pass all the subjects. That's pretty great. Yeah, this seems extreme. A little bit. But we have the ability to trade on the virtual consoles. I'm going through with my trainer name as Sludge, trying to get everything into Pokemon Home as like, hey, I know for sure all these Pokemon are going to be legit because I am the one that caught them. Yeah, I can get Nidoking through a glitch. Yeah, I could anyways. But we did set the rules at the beginning of the challenge, of which I should post those, actually, because I failed to do so. On this description here. Control C. back. Okay, so those are there. So those are the rules. So all rare candies will be saved for Dragonite, because that one's gonna suck. Have to get a Dragonite evolved before I can face Lieutenant Surge. But basically the only glitch was allowed was the Mew glitch, and brocking through walls was like a bonus rule. All other glitches were forbidden, because then missing no would be usable, and then that would defeat like the entire purpose of the challenge, I think. Then again, most of the Pokemon would be evolved by the time I get Surf, so maybe that's not a rule that needs to be there, because the bulk of the work was already done by the time you could even get to that point anyways. But yeah, we have to use the Mew glitch to get Mew, of course. Work done before Brock. I'm trying to figure out if I need to trade a Mankey over now, because it is a version exclusive, but it is one that is normally obtainable in like Pokemon Red prior to Brock. So I feel like I should trade it over before facing Brock, but on Pokemon Yellow it's not available until after. So I should probably trade it on over. Yeah, I think we'll have like 30 some odd Pokemon by the time we fight Brock. 32, 33, 34, yeah, 35-ish. Because Nidoran's 30 something, 32, Nidoqueen. Which is like 1/5 of the Pokedex, actually. It's pretty wild. It's a pretty cool PFP you got there, Haywire Gamer. You took a long break shiny hunting Rayquaza. I'm not sure when you'll get back to it. Did you ever like get it on Scarlet and Violet? Since they were like basically giving it away, I didn't even do it because it wasn't worth my time. Like, I have one from Emerald. Doing the raid wasn't worth it for me. Hey, Brock, what's up? You have 2 in that game now? That's what's up. Oh, I forgot to tell it to stream to Twitch. Oops. I'm not streaming to Twitch, am I? Hopefully I'm not ignoring Twitch chat. Doesn't look like I am, so that's good. Yeah, somehow I missed toggling Twitch on. Very odd. Oh well. Okay, where the heck are my bookmarks? What is going on? There we go. One you got from Brilliant Diamond and 164 resets. That's pretty legit. It's really fast. Not as fast as the 2 it took me to get it in Emerald, though, but it's still pretty fast. Considering I cheated. Okay, I didn't cheat. I just used the understanding manipulation of the game to make it significantly easier to obtain. Ah, there we go. No frame counting in BD. I mean, you can count frames in Brilliant Diamond. It's possible. Imagine if Pokemon allowed modding on consoles like Bethesda games. Oh my gosh, could you imagine? It actually does work the same. In fact, it's a little bit easier in some aspects because you can use a camera to count the frames. They got programs that you don't even need a modded device to do it. You can have a camera count the frames and it'll figure out what seed you're on and what frame is going to be your next shiny. It's crazy. That having been said, shiny hunting Shaman is an absolute nightmare just due to all of the flowers moving on the screen. Like, the frames go so fast on that game. And it's not even like... It's not even frames like you're thinking, like you're seeing frames. It's like, it almost has a different meaning. Let's see, 32, 36, 36, 36. Okay, it's not going to be too terrible. I got 4 Pokemon to get to level 36, and the rest are like 16. So many people hate those remakes. You get it. They should have made them closer to platinum, but you still don't understand all the hate. I really do think it stems from, one, the art style was different. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Two, they were doing a faithful remake and then didn't do a faithful remake. The ability to not shiny hunt Manaphy pissed a lot of people off because, again, it wasn't a faithful remake. But then they added in the underground so you could get all the Pokemon and stuff, which was cool. But it still ran slow. It ran like garbage. And it just wasn't the same. They said they were going to do a faithful remake, and it was not a faithful remake. That's where they screwed up, really. But permanently being able to get Arceus, huge win. What is the void glitch? You mean mods that add things to the game? Imagine like make mods that add in fake mod from games like Clover, Uranium. I gotcha. That's what a PC's for, Brock. So that we can mod Pokemon to our heart's content. Oh, I think one of the biggest reasons, Haywire, the biggest reason why people hated the Gen 4 remakes is they said that they weren't adding in Gen 5 through 9 Pokemon as available Pokemon because they wanted to do a faithful remake. And then they proceeded to not do a faithful remake. So then people were like, well, if it's not going to be faithful, then why couldn't you have added these Pokemon? So it was a huge cop-out that didn't deliver. So with that void glitch, are you still able to get to Shaman and Darkrai through it? On the originals, I used an action replay with a walk through walls glitch and just walked to Darkrai. I can use the daycare to get Dragonite. I can use the daycare. This is gonna be glorious. Brock, if you're still there, I think the reason why Nintendo doesn't allow mods for the games, aside from being very litigious as a company, is people would easily make the entirety of another game inside as a mod. So, like, we would start off in Kanto, and then there would be a mod that once you beat the Elite Four, you got to board the SS Anne, and it would take you to Johto. Or a pathway would open up in Victory Road to take you to Johto. And then, like, we would have all of the Pokemon games available inside one Pokemon game. I would... If Pokemon ever starts to, like, go under, like, that's gotta be their Hail Mary. That's gotta be, like, their end-all, be-all. Every generation, one game. Become Ash Ketchum. the orange islands would be added in. A mod would be done so you can actually join Team Rocket on Cerulean Bridge. Oh yeah, heaven forbid we make a decent Pokemon game. I love how like Nintendo is so dead set on, oh, we gotta innovate the series, we gotta add this, we gotta have a new gimmick every single freaking game. Instead of, you know, giving the fan base what they want and just like, we just want the same crap, but together. We want this crap, we want this crap, we want it to fuse into this crap and have everything. All the crap at once. Would be fabulous. I have not played that. The only fan game or ROM hack that I've ever played was a randomized Pokemon Emerald Kaizo run. And we got a freaking Psychic Deoxys with Wonder Guard. Before we hit the first gym. Was a pain in the butt to catch, but we got it. There are over 200,000 custom sprites? That is insane. That's mind-blowing. Wait, what does that mean, Brock? Them shoving the Gen 1 member berries with the most new games? What? I do member. I don't know what I member, but I member. I don't know what that was supposed to say. Remember that? Remember that? Basically nostalgia bait. Oh, hey, remember Fat Pikachu? Yeah, I remember. Now we got a Gigantamax Pikachu, which looks like Fat Pikachu. Chunkachu! That's actually what I nicknamed my Pikachu. We nicknamed Pikachu Chunkachu. Oh, I'm sorry. What I said was, how would you like to... I don't want to get demonetized. But also on that one, my voice wasn't quite high enough. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a little better. Beefcake. I hated Pokemon Go because it felt like nostalgia baiting and bringing in normies who've heard of Pokemon and are just attracted to 90s nostalgia rather than the franchise. Yeah, it kind of novelized it for a lot of people that hadn't really played Pokemon before. Apologies for saying normies. That's some elitist gatekeeper lingo. Yeah, a little bit. That's okay. You had so that there was like kind of a few different groups of people. You know, you had the kids from the 90s that like played Pokemon. They got into middle school, junior high, and then Pokemon became not cool. And then they got into college and Pokemon was the rage again, and now they're still playing Pokemon. And then you have the kids that were like more like me, that I just played it from grade school all the way until through college and still play it. Yet I'm still playing the same freaking game that I played 30 years ago or whatever. Dang near 30 years ago. And then you have the people that, you know, have recently discovered it. Pokemon Ruby and Emerald. Sapphire, maybe. I was, I think, 9 when I got my Advanced SP for Christmas. 2004. Freaking legit. Was it either 2004 or 2005? I'm pretty sure it was 2004, though. And that is the only one of my consoles that to this day I still have. Like my original Game Boy Color. No. I have the original Game Boy. That's a lie. I sold my Game Boy Color. I had a Game Boy Pocket. I sold that. I had a 64. I sold that. But I've bought in all of them again. You were a 2000 kid that heard of Pokemon but only got into it after watching your friend play Coliseum. That is like a fantastic place to get in, though. Before that, you had a color, and every time someone spoke, you would ask your mom to read it for you. That's freaking funny. I love that. I frequently tell a story of how I became a Pokemon fan. I won't really tell the full thing this time because I did on the last stream, but long story short, I beat Lance for my brother when I was 4 years old and I couldn't read the text on the screen. I beat Lance and Gary without dying when my brother couldn't do it and he could read. My favorite was staying up late, and I had to go and camp out in the bathroom so that there was a light because, you know, the Game Boy Color didn't have a backlit screen, and your AAA batteries in that magnifying glass light attachment only did so much. So I had to go, like, use the bathroom light and try to play the game. When I was supposed to be in bed. And then the SP happened. Rechargeable system. Backlit screen. Play anywhere, anytime. Was beautiful. The only game console that you still have from when it first came out was your 3DS. I don't even think I have my original 3DS. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't because I had a 3DS. I upgraded to a new 3DS XL. Or no, I had a 3DS XL that had a Triforce on it. And then I upgraded to a new 3DS. I don't have my original N64 anymore, but I do have 3 Nintendo 64s for no good reason at all. There's one out in the living room so my wife can play it whenever she wants. There's one in my shrine right there. And behind that brass coin plate, there is a atomic, or there's a N64 complete in box with an atomic purple controller and a gray controller. And it's just chilling there. Like, and it brings me such great joy because that's the exact one I got in 1999 when I was a child, before I even started kindergarten. It was a family gift, and what my parents and grandparents love to do is they would collaborate on presents. So, like, my grandparents had, like, a budget of $50 per grandkid, and my parents had like a $300 budget per kid, so they got us some things independently, but then they pooled the rest of it together to get the N64 and a few games. And then my grandparents on my dad's side, they got each of us a game for the 64. Somehow I still ended up with the 64 and all the games, but my brother sold his shares, and my sister kind of gave hers up. So we had a timeshare 64, and I bought the rights. But sold that 64 forever ago. I sold a lot of things when I got married initially, so I could pay for the ring and stuff. And then since then, I've slowly accumulated it back and then some. But it was still, I still remember getting to open up that N64, popping in some Donkey Kong 64, got Zelda. That's where my love for Zelda really started to grow, from Ocarina of Time. And then we got Majora's Mask like a little while later, and that, like, that took my love for Zelda even higher. Like, that was the game. So naturally, when Wind Waker came out, like, I had to. I begged and pleaded and worked for that game for a long time. I didn't get to play Wind Waker until, or I didn't get to buy Wind Waker until it was Nintendo Choice, you know, whatever they did with that label on the game. Platinum Hits type stuff. No, Platinum Hits was a Xbox thing. Ah, Player's Choice. And I had to buy it from a place called Circuit City. I don't know if that was a chain, but it was a Circuit City. It's all the way in the back. Initially, I had my dad, well, for Wind Waker, I had my dad rent it from Hollywood Video, and I bought my GameCube myself. So I saved up the money for it, part birthday, part work, and then I bought the GameCube. Didn't have enough money to buy a single game for it, didn't have enough money to buy a memory card for it. So I had my dad rent it from Hollywood Video for me so I could play it. Got part of the way through it. Well, I got a good way through it. Like, I got to I got to the part where the Tower of the Gods came up out of the ocean. So, you know, about a third of the way through, maybe a little bit less, a little bit more, somewhere around there. And during the time, I realized I couldn't save because I didn't have a memory card. That's why I left it on there. I didn't have a memory card to save. So I worked and, you know, did extra chores, left my GameCube running the entire time. It was running for like 2 weeks straight, right? And I had my dad rent the game a second time just so I could have a little bit more time to play it. Finally got the memory card because I did the extra work. I went and bought one, put the memory card into the GameCube, and went to save, and like, I don't know if an error message popped up, but we found out that if the GameCube didn't have the memory card inserted when it was turned on, it would not read the memory card. So I bought a memory card and still couldn't save the game after leaving the GameCube on for 2 weeks straight. It was such sad. But it didn't take me that long at all to progress past that point once I powered it off and then on again. Opening up the 64 for the first time and playing Zelda on the GameCube for the first time and Pokemon Coliseum for the first time. That's some joy that I would greatly love to experience again. Got 3 more knockouts. Okay, well, we've gone through 2 Pokemon so far. I suspect Rattata should evolve here pretty quick. Pidgey's also pretty close. But I'm gonna get rid of this Pokemon and then go into intermission for a minute. Grab a snack, and I'll be right back. Brock's going later. Smell you later. Hey, Ash. I think Rattata's my only Pokemon that has 3 moves it can attack with and deal damage. I better cool it on my snack. I still got like at least 50 minutes left. But when it comes to Muddy Buddies, you can't mess around. There is no self-control. It just doesn't exist. I like to imagine that Rattata is shiny. It would also be so cool if, like, I port these over to Gen 2 and one of them turns out to be shiny. That'd be so cool. Level 19. One more level and I have another Pokemon knocked off. Who are my lurkers? I've had like 2 people lurking this entire time. I should have had like a kill count. Every time I faint a Pokemon, add one to the docket. I mean, I guess I could still do it, but I'd have to go through like the 9 hours of the last streams and count how many Pokemon have fainted. We should be getting close to level up. I feel like. Oh, we have 4 concurrent viewers. That's pretty sweet. It was popping last stream. Ooh, that was a decent amount of experience points, anyways. Okay, apparently I lied about thinking that the level up was close. It was not as close as I thought it was, evidently. I was way off. Whoa! Eradicate. Done. Let's get us a Pidgey. Evolved into a Pidgeotto. Woo! Level 16. Too bad 17 and 18 aren't going to be that fast. I suspect highly we will run out of moves before we evolve Pidgey. But I could be pleasantly surprised, I suppose. Meanwhile, I'm just over here trying to think. Do we have a Pokemon based off of a raccoon? Like Zigzagoon comes to mind, but it doesn't quite fit, you know? We got a ferret. Now I'm curious. Ah, there is a raccoon-like Pokemon named Zigzagoon. I don't think it qualifies. I always thought Zigzagoon was kind of more of a mongoose. Oh my gosh, Wiss, have you been hanging out the entire time? Are you my lurker? Yeah, Zigzagoon is a badger. It's not a raccoon. Although it does kind of have a raccoon face. I can see how they would be calling it that. But it's like more like a badger dog. Especially with Linoon being a freaking badger and Obstagoon being a real badger. Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom, badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom, snake. Not really what? Well, not exactly what? Oh, being a lurker, probably. It's said I had 2 viewers the entire night. You had the stream on a Chrome tab. So, like, you were a viewer but weren't viewing. Because I've just been wondering who my second person's been all night. Level 17. Pidgey's almost evolved. Yes. I basically come to the conclusion that it takes basically 2 hours to get through all of the moves for my team of Pokemon. How's it going tonight, Wiss? We didn't have a chance to talk much before your disappearance. How... You said you passed all your classes. I take it you had some finals that happened recently, or some midterms at the very least? So, I have a question for you, Wiss. In that, how was your programming final? What did you have to do? Did you pass it? Was it awesome? Did it suck? The only thing you feared was math? Well, that makes sense since you were busting it out the other day. You had to modify a code to make it work differently? Easy sauce. What was the code doing, and what did you have to modify it to make it do differently? Me, myself, and I want to know. Let me check real quick. All right, now let me go to the translator. Oh my gosh, Wes, I never thought of this question before, but do you code in Spanish? You use the normal thingy? Then again, I guess up to this point, probably not done a lot that actually has Spanish in it, or has the need for terms, because like most of the naming in there that you would use a language for is self done, so like the variables can be named whatever. So like your print statement is print. That's going to be in English, I would assume. I just never checked to see if the coding languages understood print in Spanish also meant print for the program. But I would assume your key terms, your reserved terms, are all going to be in English that you need to know. I was just like, wait a second. Everything is in English except for the words and stuff like that. Your variables. Pretty sweet. When you started, there was a programming language that did use Spanish terms, then we gradually switched to C. Okay. Wait. Now my follow-up question is, you said you switched to C. Are you using straight C? Are you using C sharp? Or are you using C++? Because there's C, C++, C sharp. There's a huge distinction. Okay, C++. Okay. Good. I was going to be impressed. Yeah, I did the same thing to my friend the other day when I was telling him about doing something in C. Because, like, we get so used to using C++ as the language that it's just like, it is the only C, but it isn't. There are 3 languages that all have C, depending on how you dumb it down. And C++ is like C on steroids. And C is closer to assembly, from what I understand. Can you believe that this game was programmed in assembly? Final test was about one-dimensional arrays and vectors. Gross. I hate arrays with a passion. So did you have to like make a Sudoku game or something? Woo! Level 18. Pidgey's evolving. Finally. We're making some progress. It's not very fast progress, but it's progress. Now we just got to get this thing up to level 36. So double what it's at, and we'll be good to go. Pidgeotto's so cool. Pidgey not so much. Pidgeot not so much, but Pidgeotto is pretty sweet. I still think for fun, Wes, you should make a program that asks for today's date and then asks for another date in the future, and then it tells you how many days away that is and builds you a calendar for it. It was something related to collecting information. I'm hoping Tuesday I can spend some time doing a coding stream. Yeah, it was actually a good time. I enjoyed that program. I enjoyed the way they taught us to deconstruct what the program needs to do and then the functions that are going to be required to do that thing. Understandably, though, I want to do it how they taught us to do it in the class, and then I want to do it with object-oriented programming in mind. So, build the program using the functions, but then do it how a person would actually expect to see it ran in an actual real world. Because what we did is we had our main program, and we had all of our functions inside of that one file. So you would hit the main program, it would call a function that was higher up in the program or lower down in the program or whatever. But the way to do it is with objects and creating classes and having each function be it's a class, and then you call the class. You call the object rather. You have it be an object. But this semester you have to do something that wasn't programming. It was something else. Was it baking? Did you have to cook? gotcha. So you're taking like an advanced class now. A class above that one. Was it web development? In your last semester, you'll have to develop a mobile application. Oh, okay, okay. Oh, networking, networks. Okay, okay. Did it have to do with databases and storing and retrieving information? Oh, probably. That sounds like MySQL. Or SQL. You'll check it next month. Are you on break now or something? You're finally on vacation? La vacation? La vacon? Sounds fun. I'm on a 3-day weekend if that counts for anything. So my plan is to get some Hyrule Monkey videos done. By the way, I'm sad to say I'm leaving. Waiting for Danny the Kid is singing songs to me beneath the marquee of a soul. By the way, I tried to say I'm leaving. I'm not singing the right words to that song, I'm sure. But my thoughts on the Switch 2 is Nintendo flopped. They shot themselves in the foot hardcore. I think they can recover from it, of course, but they failed that announcement video. They failed it hard. Now, there was a lot of hype leading up to it. A lot of investors were like, oh yes, they're building a new console. They are going to learn from their failures in the past. It's going to be great. Nintendo did the exact same thing they did with the Wii U, and that's one of the videos I want to do tomorrow, if I have time, is I want to record that. Take a look at that. Because the problem they had with the Wii U and why it didn't sell very well is it was the Wii, then U. It had a pad, a gamepad, and people didn't see or understand why the Wii U was a big deal. They didn't understand why they needed to upgrade from the Wii, so they thought it was just another Wii. I fear that the way Nintendo announced the Switch 2 officially that way, we already knew it was coming. They just showed us what it looked like and announced that it would have backwards compatibility. You feel like the problem was that the leakers rushed the announcement? That may be part of it. But I also feel like Nintendo took too long to do it. Because they already announced it, right? We knew it was a Switch 2. We knew it was going to look similar to the Switch. Leaking the designs was whatever. Who freaking cares? But to have them do an official like trailer for it and be like, oh yeah, check out the Switch 2. This is what it looks like. I think that was very, very poor for them to do. They should have focused more on the specs. They should have just waited and pushed up the April announcement to February. They should have just focused hard on that. Let's get these specs. Let's get a video for that. Like, sure, people were leaking designs, whatever. They didn't show us anything that wasn't already leaked, right? So it was stupid. They should have just, okay, our designs got leaked, whatever. Let's rush out the specs because people don't have that from a reliable source yet. And because they didn't include anything about, hey, the Switch can do this, but check out the Switch 2, it can do this. Like, it's going to have, a 4K graphics card. It's going to have this much battery life. It's going to be able to do this thing with the frame rates. Or, whatever it is that the Switch 2 is going to be able to handle. They should have focused on that. Maybe they should have started with, the games are going to be in 1080p on the handheld at 60 FPS. That would be cool. But because they didn't do that initially, people may have lost interest and like, it's just an upgrade to the Switch. It's the OLED. They're releasing the OLED again. It's a more powerful OLED. Whereas it could actually have huge specification increases and jumps, but people aren't going to listen to it now because they already think and are assuming it's just an upgrade Switch. So I really do think they shot themselves in the foot by not showing specs and things for that, and showcasing to all of their newly acquired Switch fans why they're going to want to upgrade their system. Like me, I'm a Nintendo fan. I've been a Nintendo fan for years. I'm going to buy the system because it's a new system. Like, that's just what I'm going to do. And if it's better, great. That's awesome. Like, they're appealing, like that trailer works for their current fans, like their long-term fans, because we're like, okay, cool, yeah, we've been through this before. Game Boy Advance, whatever. The Switch sold so many more copies than any other system in the world. At this point, it surpassed the PlayStation 2. Most of those people that bought the Switch are new to Nintendo. The Switch brought in that many new people that probably aren't going to buy the new console just because it's an upgrade. So Nintendo really should have focused on selling in their initial announcement why those people are going to want the next system. Oh, no doubt, Wiz. Like, I don't think that they could release the Switch 2 without an OLED screen. Like, that would just be stupid. Like, here we have the Switch with an OLED. It looks beautiful. We're going to increase your frame rate. We're going to increase your graphics. But we're going to downgrade the screen to a basic screen. That would be shooting themselves in the foot, too. They have to launch it with an OLED. Like, there would be no point in increasing the specs if they're decreasing the screen. I mean, maybe they could still release a cheaper version of it without an OLED, but I feel like the cost difference is $50 and the Switch is selling for $400 from what I hear. So, like, I think they should have the OLED. It still has the edges that the original Switch had. I hate how the Joy-Cons became a little bit more elongated. They're taller. I'm like, what's the purpose in that? What did that serve? But yeah, understandably, the leakers did rush the announcement. But just because an announcement was rushed doesn't mean that it should be low quality. like I could have done an announcement trailer like that in 8 hours. You know, like just let me have my Sony Vegas and a Switch, and I probably could have pulled something off for a 2-minute presentation on a Switch too. This year started quite crazy. Oh, why is that? I think Route 22 is going to be my best source of leveling up. Oh, it's Route 15. Route 15 is going to be where it's at. Maybe 18. Bye, Swayze. Welcome. Just seen the message on Discord. Well, you're catching the tail end of the stream, that's for sure. But that's okay, you made it here. We made some progress today. We got Rattata evolved, and we got a Pidgey evolved. We got Ivysaur now. So we're moving. Y'all have been struggling without TikTok. It's still open today, isn't it? Like, it closes tomorrow, I thought. Oh, I already deleted the app. Ha. Yeah, USA no longer. Just get a VPN on your device and you can tell your device you're in somewhere else and download it still. I don't know. I can't believe that you found a shiny Yanma as well. That's pretty sweet. Whis, are you asking why it's removed from the United States? Okay. So, I don't know, like, the whole gist of it. well, the whole detail of it, but the gist of it is they had a trial for the owners of TikTok. It's political. The company is not an American company, and there's a whole thing of what TikTok is allowed to do on your device with your network. So, like, when you connect a device to your network at home, it can see all of the other devices on that network. And they were afraid that TikTok would have the ability to see the information on those shared devices. And they took the people to court and trial and asked them all these questions, and they never really got a clear, straight answer on whether or not it could. That's part of it. It's real stupid anyways, but it's basically entirely political. Their reasoning is that with TikTok receiving all of this data from Americans, it's going straight to a Chinese server that the US can't regulate. So, like, Twitter has its servers in America, and there's a company in America that's responsible for the dealings of Twitter. TikTok really didn't have that. So what TikTok did, the US couldn't really have jurisdiction over, if that makes sense. Like, the US couldn't say, hey, you have to do this, because the company wasn't in the US. Or they wouldn't say, you can't do this in the US and enforce it, because there's no party to hold accountable in the US because it's a Chinese company. So they just decided to ban it. At least that's my understanding of it. I may have an incorrect understanding of it, and I'll own that, because, like, I don't follow TikTok. I don't really... I started watching TikToks a little bit more, but I prefer YouTube Shorts, honestly. I hated how notification pushy TikTok was, as far as, oh, your friend has uploaded the video. It would notify me every single time I got on. I always had notifications, even though nothing was happening. Every day, 15 notifications on TikTok. But, like, nothing was ever going on. They were just putting up notifications for notification's sake. Like, it wasn't, oh, hey, your friend just uploaded a video, you should go check it out. There was simply a notification just to get you to open up the app for the day. It was stupid. It pissed me off. I had all my notification settings turned off for it at one point, and they still popped up as a notification. Like YouTube, you subscribe to somebody, they post a video, you should get a little red number on your YouTube app saying, hey, somebody posted a video, you might want to go check it out. You open it up, you open up the YouTube app, you go to your notifications, you see it, and that notification goes away. It's brilliant. That was too much information. Sorry. I find it kind of funny that TikTok got banned. It's also a little sad too, so don't get me wrong, but I think it's funny that, like, for 2020 through 2024, a pressing issue was, should we ban TikTok, not how can we make people afford food again. It's like, no, this TikTok's got to go. So it's just humor in the suffering, I suppose. You've been improving your Twitch stream to properly? Wiz, you're streaming on Twitch? What? Okay, Wes. Well, naturally, you're gonna have to send me like your Twitch handle or something. Oh, you've been preparing. That's all. Okay. Well, I am remiss to say that I am not currently streaming on Twitch, but or well today because I failed to click the button. I guess for some reason Twitch never started streaming for me. I don't get what that was all about, but I uploaded some emotes, some animated emotes, and I put an official schedule on there that for the most part I've adhered to, except for I missed the Brass Coin Play stream this week. I did not feel like it Wednesday at all, or Thursday, so I didn't. But feel like I got that a little bit taken care of. But I'm always interested in any more tips you've noticed watching other people stream that you think I should include and incorporate into mine. Can't wait for your patch. Might do a shiny living dex on Gen 3 with RNG manipulation after Sapphire and Platinum. Ooh. Do it, by Swayze. That's going to be brutal. Definitely have to get Emerald for it, though. If you want to have easy RNG manipulation, get Emerald. And get the ability to extract that save file using a R4 card on DS. It'll make everything so much easier. Had this problem where every time you opened up a game and used OBS to capture the game, all of a sudden it went laggy. Sounds like the computer might not be powerful enough. Unless you got it resolved. It's powerful? Okay. Oh, good, good. You have your R4 card. Lovely. So you extract your save file on Emerald so that you can get your seed, and then from there it's smooth sailing. You're trying to get a Game Shark for fun, but they're expensive? Yes. Yes, they are. I want nothing more than a DS action replay. But really, I don't need it anymore, so... The game capture thingy on OBS is horrible. I hate to say it, but try Streamlabs. And what are you just playing the game on your computer and capturing your screen? $250 for the GBA. Carbonina, I've never even heard of that. I feel like I had one for the Game Boy Advanced that started with like an E. It has random shiny encounters for Mons from Gen 1 and 3 and tickets. It's improvement from the day where I bought one and I had to put the hex codes in for what I wanted the Game Shark to do. Saying that the OBS capture system is horrible. The source called Game Capture is horrible. Oh, gotcha. Could try and see if the Streamlabs has that issue fixed. Streamlabs basically stole the coding from OBS and tweaked everything. The way you fixed the lag was changing it to the source window. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, window capture's better. I understand, yeah. I feel that. I am familiar with that. OBS, or Streamlabs doesn't fix that issue. Yeah. It's just the source. I do almost exclusively window capture or yeah, right now I'm streaming through window capture right now, actually. I do window capture or Elgato as a video capture, video device. You've spent way too much recently, but it's addicting. Yes, it is. It's so fun to see the collection grow. Right now, my wife and I have been having fun seeing our savings account grow. It's not growing as fast as we'd like to, but we recently hit a stride where things kind of clicked in place for a minute after the holidays, and like savings goals are going up and up and up, so we're happy about that. So whatever you're collecting, whether it be money in a savings account or Pokemon related paraphernalia, it's always fun to see the collection grow, whatever it is that is being collected. I envy the boxes that you're able to have at the moment by Swayze. I want to get boxes for all my carts. I need to replace some batteries as well. You need black 2, white 2, and you'll have every game. Don't want to drop 130 plus on them. Yeah, they do be spendy. I wonder, I did recently see in my Facebook Marketplace here some Pokemon games here. Oh yeah. Somebody was selling Pokemon Black 2 complete in box for 160. It's ridiculous. Unfortunately, I don't see the prices going down on those. Live in the middle of nowhere, slap down in the Bible Belt. Nothing on Marketplace for you. Yeah. I kind of have an inkling of where that is, and it's pretty cool. I spent some time in the Bible Belt. In fact, we said that I was residing in the buckle of the Bible Belt. The belt buckle. Plus, nobody will meet at police stations, so it's shady for you. I usually met people at, like, when I do Facebook Marketplace, I meet people at Walmart. There's plenty of cameras around. I'm comfy with it. I worked asset protection for Walmart. I know how well those cameras work. You almost got robbed in a public place, so it's police station or bust for you. I mean, that makes sense. That's fair. Oh, and just so you know, by Swayze, when I send you a Discord message saying I'm live, it's not a get in here. It's you said you were having trouble with notifications, so this is an extra. Hey, just in case notifications aren't working and you wanted to be here, here's a special notification. No worries. YouTube notifications be wild. And when you say notifications aren't working, you're talking about YouTube, right? Just YouTube failing to notify? Because I know Discord has a notification system when I go live, but for the most part I think people block the announcements page, so like understandably don't get that one. Oh, you're gonna re-download the app after stream? Could help fix things. YouTube notifications break pretty frequently. Yeah, I've spent a good amount on stuff as well recently. How many hours on my save file at the moment? I think we're getting close to 13. You're ready for me to get the Japanese e-readers? I want them. But I recently had to blow $200, $230 on a cell phone. And I'm hoping it wasn't a waste. So, I bought a iPhone 12 for my Pokemon Go spoofing videos. Because, what's it called? The company wants me to do a monthly video. Oh, where'd the program go? Locachange. There we go. Locachange wanted me to do a monthly video for them, showcasing the game, playing Pokemon Go and stuff. And there's, of course, a payout associated therewith. And you have to install a VPN on your phone to get it to initially work, and that's it. And the rest of it's ran through the computer. You can, of course, do a app-based version as well, which is also okay, but I have work email on this device, so I can't be downloading things that are less than 100% on that device, or else I can get fired if there's a data breach and they get into my email. I don't think that that's a possibility, but I like my job, so I had to get a separate device to mess around with installing things that I mean, it's in the Apple Store, so it should be fine. But I don't know, just connecting to VPNs and stuff and other servers with sensitive work information that's not mine. I couldn't do it. So I got a device specifically for spoofing in Pokemon Go. Oh yeah, the e-reader's getting more expensive. Yeah, I haven't even bought the Japanese e-reader yet because I haven't had any intention to buy the e-reader card repos for it because it's like $500 for those. But I am working on something that could be kind of cool, but it's going to be very expensive to pull off. Yeah, why Swayze? That's why I spoof, is so I can go to places where there's stuff going on because I live in BFE. But I don't know if I've showed you this, by Swayze, but give me a second here. Okay, I'm ready. So, I haven't been buying Pokemon games. I'm gonna have to back up. Do you see this orange GameCube right here? That is my Japanese playable GameCube. Okay? This is why I don't have any money. I've kind of been collecting GameCubes. And this one has the Game Boy Player on the bottom of it. I have a black Game Boy Player for the black one. The orange one also has a Game Boy Player on it. And I'm ordering a Game Boy Player for this blue one. Now that's going to be 4 Game Boy Players. I will need 4 Game Boy Player discs. That's going to be $200. So I can do multi-shiny hunting with this. I also need Wavebird receivers. So I need some of these for each one. And I can use one controller to control all 4 of them and do some massive shiny hunting with it, which is going to be super cool. I also could get copies of Pokemon Coliseum and shiny hunt Shadow Pokemon, which could be really cool. Yeah. So I got silver Game Boy Player. Orange one's got the orange Game Boy Player. I have a black Game Boy Player for the black one, and I'm gonna order an indigo one. So pretty freaking sweet. Yeah, 4 copies, and Pokemon Coliseum is like $200 a pop. But the black GameCube's not working right now. And it saddens me greatly. Ooh. Do I still have one of those plugged in? No. Did you notice anything different about this GameCube here? And this is why I need the Indigo Game Boy player. This is my pride and joy. Aside from my kids, like, this thing's the coolest thing I own. Well, I don't own my kids, that's not what I'm saying, but this is the coolest thing I own. It's my pride and joy outside of my kids. I wanted one of these so bad when I was in middle school. And I forgot the cost with it. But I'm pretty sure it was like 160 plus. Let's see, I got it off eBay. I can probably check. But yeah, that was me getting sidetracked for now. But I am so proud of that thing. Like, I bought the Indigo GameCube because I found that only in Indigo. I couldn't find a black or silver version. So I'm like, if I have this Indigo screen, I have to have the Indigo GameCube so I can have it all Indigo. And then I spent way too much on plushies. Like, that video for Copper Coin choosing a starter was easily $600. Yeah, it was 170 bucks for that. And I don't know how well you can see that, but we have that entire orange GameCube collection for 200, and then almost 200 the Celebi disc in the Pokemon Coliseum in Japanese. Oh, hey, there you go. 140 bucks for a black GameCube. I love it. Still happy you pulled that off? Yeah, I mean, you got two controllers with it. I think it's pretty standard to have a GameCube cost about $100. I bought a broken GameCube from somebody on Facebook for 60 bucks. Still pissed off about it because they didn't say it wasn't working, but the disk drive was broke. So I ordered for $10 a disc motor. That still didn't fix the issue because the laser's not working right, so it's not engaging the motor. So I spent 60 bucks on it, spent another 10 to diagnose what it is, and then I just blew 40 bucks on a new disc reader for it. So all in all, this black GameCube cost me $110. What I want to do is install Pico Boot on it. That'll be fun. Oh, I didn't notice the game. Oh, I need to pay closer attention. With Game Boy Player. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. The Game Boy Players are relatively cheap, but the discs are crazy. Fun fact. I only need one Game Boy Player disc to get all those to work, because once it engages the Game Boy Player, this is really stupid. You have to have the Game Boy Player disc when you turn on the GameCube, but once it reads that it's the Game Boy Player and the GameCube now knows, hey, play the game in the Game Boy Player, you can take the Game Boy Player disc out and put it in another GameCube. Wait. The Game Boy Player came with the disc, and you got that and the GameCube for $135. That is a steal by Swayze. That was easily a $200 transaction. That's crazy. Somebody was selling something they didn't know what they were selling. But yeah, I want to do a quad hunt for Pokemon Coliseum and see if I can get some shiny shadow Pokemon. Oh yeah, I'm always happy to get my DMs and see, hey, is this cartridge legit? Funny thing, I kind of have like a running thing of this. So I'm good at detecting frauds for the most part. Like obviously I bought a broken GameCube, so I can get scammed occasionally, but I didn't really think anything of it at the time. And now that I think about it, I really didn't get scammed because they sold me a broken GameCube for $60. Normally the GameCube sells for $100, and it cost me $40 to fix it. So like $100. I mean, I didn't really get scammed. The dude just wasn't honest, so that's cool. But like at work, everybody asks me to look at IDs to see if I can pick out anything that's off about them. And I've trained them and taught them exactly what I look for, and it's still, hey, look at this, which is fine. I enjoy doing it. It's kind of fun. So like being able to extend that into game cartridges and things like that, and be like, oh yeah, these are the things that should be being looked for on this specific cartridge. I love it, and I'm glad you sent me a picture of that Leaf Green, because when I was looking at my copy of Leaf Green, I started questioning it, just because the gold medallion around the green kind of bled, and so the gold medallion's more of a green color, and the one that you showed me is also like that, which just indicates to me that there was a printing thing that happened with those labels, that because they're printing gold on green, it just didn't translate well, because the gold emblem is a little bit green tinted. And I was like, oh no, did I buy a fake label one? And I was like, no, it's good. You thought the circle indentations were perfect, but the number indentations are a lock for you now? What do you mean? You look for them now? Yeah, for example, my Emerald cartridge above that symbol has two places where numbers are indented. Up at the very top right corner, it has a 3, and it has an E4 above the official C. If they don't show the numbers, if they don't show the battery or the numbers, you don't even look. That's fair. Yeah, the motherboard should also say Nintendo on it for the cartridges. Fire Red and Leaf Green should not have batteries. If they do, there's a problem. But Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire should have batteries. even dupes have the Nintendo now, and you know that you was talking about Emerald and Sapphire. Okay. I've taught you a lot. Good, good. Yeah, some of the things, it's funny how terrible some of the labels actually are. I think the harder ones to catch are the DS games. Um, Gold, silver, and black, white, black 2, white 2. Those ones are easy to distinguish. But diamond, pearl, platinum, and yeah, diamond, pearl, platinum are hard. Yep, make sure they have infrared. If they're not showing the light passing through them and having a red hue to them, then they're no go. Whis, you have a fantastic night. We're almost done here, I think. As soon as Squirtle runs out of power points, we'll go to the Poke Center, save, and end for the night. And that's in 4 turns. You go after CIB stuff to make yourself feel better. I mean, it is a better purchase, I think, in the long run. But yeah, I haven't been able to send out the patch just yet, but Tuesday I will be at the post office sending that out for you. I need to see if there's a better envelope that's more sensical to send that patch in instead of a giant bubble wrap package. Because right now it's a little excessive for a less than a 1 ounce patch. You recently started looking at Nintendo Powers for Gens 1 through 4 for your collection? Like the magazine? That's intense. That's cool too. Some are cheap, some are expensive. I believe it. You told yourself as a kid when you have adult money, you will have everything you wanted as a kid. GameCube with the TV attached to it. I respect that. Chunkachu, Pikachu. Hey, you're welcome by Swayze, and I am going to be doing this again tomorrow night because I don't have to go to work Monday, so I can stay up late and stream. But we'll catch you later. Current hour count, 11 hours, 50 minutes.